What is going on, everyone? Welcome to GoneDrivin. For this week's video, I have my hands on a very special car, and that is a 2023 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum. So, we asked Cadillac Canada for the Escalade almost a year and a half ago, and finally, after hitting 1,000 subs and over 500,000 views on the channel, we finally got ourselves an Escalade. So, thank you to everyone who supported the channel through subscribing, liking the videos, or just watching something. I really appreciate it, but today, let's get into reviewing this beautiful land yacht. So the Escalade that we have this week is the Escalade Sport Platinum ESV. Now that's probably a lot of words and a lot of things to take in. So let me explain it to you. The ESV stands for Escalade Stretch Vehicle, which basically means that this is a stretch version of the Escalade. So there's a regular version of the Escalade and there's a stretch version, which basically gives you a little bit more space in the trunk, and that's about it. The Sport Platinum is actually the most expensive trim level that you can get. It's basically a platinum level trim, so very luxurious, but with some sporty aspects to it. And above this is the Escalade V, which is very, very cool. And let me talk to you guys in a moment about that. So the Escalade V is actually brand new for the 2023 model year, and it's Cadillac's take on a performance-based Cadillac Escalade, which is very cool. It's got a V8 supercharged engine that produces almost 700 horsepower. It sounds amazing. If you haven't heard it online yet, I'll put a clip of what that sounds like. But make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so maybe one day I can review that. But for today, we're gonna check out the Escalade Sport Platinum. So let's get the elephant out of the room and talk about the price tag of the Escalade. So the Escalade Sport Platinum starts at $134,000 Canadian. The one that I have specifically with options comes out to almost $150,000 Canadian. And of course, I live in Canada, in Ontario specifically, where there's something called a luxury tax, which is for any cars over $100,000, you have to pay a premium tax. So all in all, this Escalade is honestly for people who are of a very different tax bracket, but it is a very, very special car, and today I'm going to show you guys why. So from the front of the Escalade, we've got a very, very gorgeous front end. It looks really, really fantastic. Starting off with these headlights, I love how it's a split design. So we've got this waterfall design here for the actual turning signals, as well as the daytime running lights. And then your headlights are housed here, which looks very nice. And also keep in mind, because this is a Sport Platinum, it's got a much more sportier look to it in the front. If you got the Platinum, just the regular version, or the regular top of the line version, it looks a little bit different. And also keep in mind, this specific Escalade has the Onyx package, which basically blacks out a lot of things around the car. For the front, we've got everything here blacked out, as well as the Cadillac logo. So usually this would be colored, but because this has the Onyx package, this is actually a monochrome logo. Looks very nice. We've also got a black grille here. Looks fantastic. It is exposed so you can see the intercooler behind it. And also just overall looks very, very mean. Also underneath the Cadillac logo here, we've got a camera here that's to help with the 360 camera, as well as the HD surround vision, which we'll see when we get into the interior of the car. You can also option out the night vision package in this car, which is very cool. That's right, a night vision package to help you see at night. Unfortunately, my Escalade for the week doesn't have that, but you can option it out if you like to. So I'm no stranger to the L87 V8 engine, but anyways, this one produces 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which I've again experienced in the Yukon Denali that I had, as well as the Sierra. Both were great engines or great cars, and this is a great engine to have. It's probably going to be the last of its kind though, which kind of sucks. From the side of the Escalade, we've got a very, very mean presence, and again, that's probably because it's so long, and that's because of the ESV. So if you got the regular version of the Escalade, it'd be a little bit shorter, but I personally feel like you got a lot more presence if you have the ESV, so why not get that? We'll start off with the wheels here. So we've got 22-inch rims right over here. They are blacked out because of the Onyx package. Looks really, really nice. I personally would get the rims blacked out as well if I had the choice. We've also got a galactic gray metallic paint for the Escalade that I have this week. Looks really nice. You can see how nice of a paint job it is. You can see some of the particles actually shining in the sun. Whoever spec'd this out at Cadillac Canada, look, they did a very, very good job. So kudos to them. So we've got our mirrors right over here with a little camera, again, part of the 360 camera package to see, everything around the car, which looks very nice. We've also got these white bars here. You might be wondering what they are. Well, they're basically illuminating little light bars. So at nighttime, when you turn on or unlock your car, you can actually see these light up, which is very cool. I didn't expect that on an Escalade, but it looks very nice. We've also got running boards that extend as you open the door, as well as go back in. So let's say if you open the door here, you can see that they come right out. And then also a fun fact about the running boards is that just underneath them, there's actually a LED light bar. So again, at nighttime when you lock or unlock the car, you can actually see that glow up, which is very cool. And also you got a Cadillac projection right over here, which again, we'll put a clip of and how that looks like, but very, very cool. And also we've got soft closing doors for the front and rear passengers, which is very cool. So again, let me show you how that works. So you open the door and let's say you just want to leave it like this. Boom, there you go, luxury. We've also got a Cadillac logo right here on the C-pillar of the Escalade, which looks very nice. It's to remind other drivers on the road that this is a Cadillac, not just any other car. This is again monochrome because of the Onyx Black package. Looks really nice. And one more thing that I really want to highlight is the fact that keyless entry is on all 4 doors of the Escalade, not just the front 2. It makes it very convenient to go in and out of the car. So if let's say I'm here at the back, the Escalade is locked right now, I have my keys on me, I just open the door and boom, the doors are unlocked. Looking at the rear end of the Escalade, it is again very majestic and just so beautiful. We've got these taillights here that go from top to bottom. It's a very traditional look for the Escalades now, but obviously for this one here, it's a lot more modern. We've got this waterfall look for the taillights. Looks very nice. I'll put a clip of that at night, how it looks like at night. We've also got our turning signals, and then our reverse lamps are at the bottom of the actual taillight. We've also got our Escalade lettering here, as well as the 600 badging or lettering. It's also blacked out because of the Onyx package, so if you didn't have that, it would just be a regular chrome finish. We've also got a massive Cadillac logo right over here, again monochrome because of the Onyx package. Looks really nice. I honestly prefer this over the regular Cadillac logo. Looks really nice, and if you want to open your trunk, which we'll see in a moment, you just hit this here. We've also got a massive rear glass here, and then our wiper is actually hidden underneath the spoiler, so it's very, very cool, and I'm a big fan of this because it just looks so clean and nice if it's hidden underneath the spoiler. It's not sticking out or anything like that, which is very nice. So just like any other large GM SUV, we've got a massive glass that actually opens, and the way you open it, well, you've got your key right over here. You just press this button over here, and boom, you can open this up to access whatever you need to. In terms of the rear bumper of the Escalade, again, we've got a very sporty finish to it. Looks really nice. We've got 2 exhaust outlets here. It's like a dual exit exhaust system. Looks really nice. And of course, with that Cadillac performance exhaust system, it sounds really nice, which we'll put a clip of in a moment. We've also got a little area here. It's like a little cladding surface, which is very nice if you want to load or unload stuff. And also you've got your rear sensor system right over here, as well as the ability to tow. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the trunk of the Escalade, because again, this is an ESV, so you got a little bit more trunk space, and we'll show that to you guys in a moment here. And also, just before I open the trunk, we've got our rear cameras here, which is pretty standard. What's not standard is a rear camera washer. So you've got a little nozzle right over here, which actually cleans your rear camera, which is really cool. It's a nice little touch and probably a nice little luxurious element to the Escalade. But anyways, let's go ahead and open the trunk now. So to open it up, because you probably can't see any actual latch or handle, well, the way you open it is you just slam your hand here and boom, it opens up for you. So we've got a fair bit of space in the trunk space of the Cadillac Escalade. You can definitely put a suitcase or maybe 2, as well as a couple other things, which is very, very nice. Obviously, in terms of seating, you can do 2, and then 2 in the back, maybe a 3rd person in the 3rd row, for a total of 7 people, which is honestly ample for this huge SUV. And also, you can actually fold your seats at the touch of a button. So let me show you guys how that works. I just press this button over here to fold up the seats. So there you go. And the same thing for the other side. And you would think I'd be done here, but actually no, we can actually fold a 2nd row from a touch of a button as well. So I'm gonna press this here and boom, and you can actually press this one more time so it can fold up. And voila. And one more cool thing about the Escalade, and this is probably a standard now in all Escalades, and that is the magnetic ride control as well as the air suspension. So obviously this Escalade also comes equipped with that, and it is state of the art. It just makes the car, it makes the Escalade feel so, so nice. It takes up all the potholes and bumps in the road very nicely. Obviously we'll see that when we go for a drive, but I just wanted to showcase to you guys, it obviously lives just behind the wheel here. You can actually adjust the height of the Escalade as well. 3 different ride settings if you wanted to, which is really, really cool. Now with the exterior out of the way for the Escalade, let's go ahead and check out the interior because it is just as special. All right, so currently in the back seat of the Cadillac Escalade, and again, this vehicle and this whole SUV screams of luxury, especially when I get into the 2nd row. We've obviously got captain's chairs right over here looks very, very nice and very comfortable. We've got an armrest right over here for our rear passengers, as well as a 36 speaker AKG audio system, which we see right over here. Very nice. We've also got a little silver speaker right over here. You might be wondering what that is. Well, we'll get to that in a moment here. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button to find out what this is in just a moment. And of course, it isn't real luxury until you have some screens in the back for your passengers. So of course, this Escalade comes with 2 of them here. We've got 12-inch screens here in the back for your passengers. They are very nice. You've also got 2 HDMI inputs as well as USB-C ports. You could hook up your PlayStation if you wanted to. Pretty baller if you ask me, if you have PlayStation playing in the back while you're getting driven in the back of your Escalade. But the coolest thing about these screens is the fact that they come with AKG wireless headphones, which look like this. Let me show you guys what they look like. They come in this very nice fancy box here, and then you open them up, and boom, look at that, there you go. All right, so now in the front interior of the Cadillac Escalade, which is honestly a very nice place to be. I know this is an Escalade and it's got the whole notion about being driven around in, but honestly speaking, this is a very, very nice cockpit, and we're going to get into it in a moment. As soon as you get into the Cadillac Escalade, you're greeted by this curved display right over here. Cadillac claims this to be about 36 inches of diagonal display, which is quite a bit. It is also OLED, so it's essentially 4K, which is very, very cool. You can definitely see that when you interact with the screens. Overall, the interior of the Escalade just feels so premium. It is just so luxurious. There are a couple of things that we've seen in other GM products, which is a little bit unfortunate in my opinion. However, the screen honestly makes up for a lot of it. I love how the vents of the Escalade are positioned. They're just hidden underneath this little trim here. And speaking of the trim, you've got this wooden trim, or like the wooden look trim. That looks really nice. It's across the actual interior of the Cadillac Escalade, as well as actually on the steering wheel. It really is a nice contrast with these leather seats. So these are jet black with some white stitching seats. They're very nice 16-way movement with the seats here, which is very nice. And also you can see these little speakers here in the seats because this is part of the 36 speaker AKG audio system. I could go on and on about the interior of the Escalade, but I think it's time that we start up the Escalade and actually just have everything come to life. So, foot on the brake, put my hand here on the start engine button. You can probably hear that exhaust as well. This is because of the Catback Performance exhaust system. Every time I turn this Escalade on, it sounds so, so nice. So, I'm just gonna adjust my steering wheel here a little bit. And now we've got our basically 3 screens is what we have in front of us, and we'll kind of go into each of them in a moment. So on the left side here, we've got the ability for us to go to 3 different settings. So your trip information, your fuel economy is also built into that, and also the ability for you to configure your heads-up display. So if you want to adjust your height and your brightness, you can do that here on this screen. And then also you can actually adjust what you have in your gauge cluster. So there's 3 different settings that you can do. You can do your regular gauge cluster, which is just a speedometer with a couple other digital screens. You can have your full map built into your gauge cluster. And then also the third and final thing, which is probably the coolest thing, and that is the augmented reality. So that's right, the Escalade comes with augmented reality, which is really cool because basically your navigation is inbuilt or is actually shown as augmented reality, which is really cool. So there's a live camera, obviously, that shows everything that's going on in front of you. And then when you turn on your navigation, the inbuilt Cadillac navigation, you actually have cursors and blips showing you where to go when you have your navigation turned on, which is really cool. And then moving on to the infotainment screen here that we've got on our right. So this is, again, probably the biggest one, or probably the second biggest one that we have here. Again, it's very responsive, very easy to use. It is the older infotainment screen, so it doesn't have the Google-based operating system. However, it still runs really well. The only difference to this one is that you don't have the Google Maps as your default software system. So again, that's because of the older Cadillac system. But you know what? It's on the deal breaker. I'm sure the later on Escalade models will be coming with that. But it works really, really well. We'll talk about some of the cool, notable things in a moment here. And then we've also got our ambient lighting settings. So with the Cadillac Escalade, you actually have the ability to have multiple different ambient lighting settings, which is honestly a very, very nice thing to see. That was my big ask in the GMC Yukon Denali, and I kind of realized it after my review went out, but I definitely feel like having the ambient lighting, especially in a $100,000 plus car, is very nice to have. And obviously with the Escalade, you have lots of different settings. I think we're talking about 20 to 30 different colors. You can link them to drive modes as well, which is really, really cool to see. And then also on the infotainment screen, we've actually got our camera button. This is where my biggest pet pet peeve is the fact that there's no hard button for the camera, which is really annoying, especially because you're driving this huge vehicle and you don't have a hard button for the camera. The only way to access it is by touching the screen, which gets a little bit annoying at times. So you have to actually click the home button and then get into your camera, or you have to click the camera tile and then you can actually navigate through it. But in terms of the camera, it is a very nice quality. So, you know, if you actually click on it, you can get different angles, which is really nice. And obviously 3D overhead camera, or the HD surround vision, is basically where you have a 3D display of your car wherever you are, or a 3D display of your Escalade, and you can kind of see everything that's going around it, which is very helpful. We've also got inbuilt navigation, as I was talking about earlier, which again, it works really well. However, I am very curious to see if Cadillac chooses to make that augmented reality display that we have here compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, because that's what a lot of people use. I personally use Apple Maps as well as Google Maps as well as Waze, and unfortunately that augmented reality just does not work with We've also got inbuilt navigation system in the Escalade, which is nice, and you know, it works really well. However, it's unfortunate that augmented reality in the display actually is not compatible with CarPlay or Android Auto. You know, and the reason I say this is because a lot of people use CarPlay, especially for their Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps. I personally use Google Maps quite a bit. Unfortunately, the augmented reality just isn't compatible with any of those things yet. And also, we've got suede lighting across the entire Escalade, which is really, really premium. It just feels so first class and just luxurious. Like when I saw this, I was like, wow, this, I didn't expect that, but it is still there anyways, and it just feels so nice. And also, speaking of the roof here, we've got this silver little speaker looking thing, and that basically is part of the conversation enhancement. The way the conversation enhancement feature works is that there's a button right over here which you turn on so you can hear the passengers that are in your second row or third row to see what they're talking about, and you don't have to actually yell across the entire Escalade. Very, very nicely thought of feature, and this basically makes that process easier. Thanks to the AKG audio system that we have, the 36 speaker audio system, you can actually talk to your passengers in the back seats very easily. We've also got our armrest here, so it doesn't move or anything like that, just like the GMC Yukon did. However, you can actually get this as a refrigerated arm console as well, which I feel like might be very handy and very useful, especially if you have, you know, a large family, or if you want to take the Escalade out for trips. We've also got heated and cooled seats, and of course there's massaging seats, because what's an Escalade without massaging seats? All of that works really, really nice, and I love that. All right, so now with the interior out of the way, I think it's time that we take the Escalade out for a spin. All right, so currently behind the wheel of the 2023 Cadillac Escalade, and then we're gonna start off this portion of the video by launching it, because why not? So I'm not gonna build any boost, I'm just gonna literally put my foot down on the gas pedal and just go and see what happens. Oh man, that is fast. Now under the hood of this Escalade, we've got a 6.2 liter V8 engine that produces 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which is what we just saw when we launched it. Obviously it is rainy and we didn't have the best conditions, but honestly speaking, it was pretty fast. And keep in mind, this truck specifically, or this Escalade specifically, is optioned out with the performance exhaust, the catback performance exhaust. I definitely recommend getting it because it just sounds so good. Now keep in mind, the Escalade is not meant for sporty drive, especially the one that I have this week, the Sport Platinum. It's all about luxury in this truck, in this car. However, Cadillac has offered a specific Escalade trim level for customers who want that sportiness, who want that loud and aggressiveness, and that's the Escalade V. And you know what? Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe one day I can try that out for myself. But from all the videos that I've seen, that thing is a beast. It sounds phenomenal. It is, again, an Escalade with basically a huge V8 engine and a turbocharger. So honestly speaking, if you haven't liked it or subscribed to the channel yet, please be sure to do that, because I really want to try that out for myself. Now, I'm no stranger to the L87 V8 engine that's in this Escalade, because I've actually experienced it in other trucks as well, other GM products actually, the GMC Sierra, the GMC Yukon. The only difference with this one is the fact that this one has a performance exhaust system. And you know what, if you're getting an Escalade, you might as well spend the $2,800 extra and get that exhaust system, because it just sounds so nice, and I don't see why you wouldn't get it, especially, you know, when we're in this full electric, you know, industry era, whatever you want to call it. I think the exhaust system makes a huge difference. Now, besides the V8 engine, you also have the optional diesel engine, and unfortunately the performance exhaust system cannot be equipped with the diesel engine variant anyways. So honestly speaking, why would you get that diesel engine option anyways? Especially with the price of diesel right now, it's gone up quite significantly. So you might as well just keep the V8 complain a little bit about the fuel economy and the gas mileage, but then add the exhaust system so it puts a smile to your face. Now in terms of the handling and the suspension, we'll start off with the suspension actually. It's an Escalade, so what else do you expect besides the best of the best suspension? And that's literally the case in this Escalade because it is so comfortable. I know I had the GMC Yukon Denali, and you know, honestly speaking, I do see a lot of similarities between this one and that one. However, there's just something specifically about this platform and this suspension that just feels a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, this has the magnetic ride control and the air ride control, and I definitely feel that, but I don't know why. Like, whenever I take potholes or anything like that in this Escalade, it just feels like it just eats them all up so nicely, and I'm so comfortable. Now, as far as the handling goes of the Escalade, again, it's an Escalade. It's a huge, bulky SUV. You can't expect to toss it around in corners. Even the Escalade V, if you do get that, I don't imagine it to be, you know, super good around corners. This is meant to be a cruiser, a very comfortable cruiser, and that's really what Cadillac has prioritized. However, having said that, you have multiple different modes, as well as sport mode and then my mode, which gives you the option to tweak around the steering a little bit, as well as the suspension. Now, I'm just about to get on the highway here, and I'm going to show you guys obviously how it does going up an on-ramp, and then, you know, how it does obviously merging onto the highway. So, there we go. That exhaust system sounds so nice. Now, the Cadillac Escalade that I have this week also comes with SuperCruise. You guys have seen me try it out before, but I'll showcase it anyways one more time. So the way it works is that you turn on your cruise control, you set your desired speed, so whatever I want it to be. I'm going to set it at 110 maybe, and then we press the button right over here on the right side, which is basically our steering, and then you have a green bar on the top of your steering wheel, and then you're all set. So obviously this is an ultimate test of the SuperCruise because it is pouring down rain right now and I still have it turned on. And you know, it's honestly doing pretty well for, you know, the visibility in front of me isn't the greatest right now. I'll show you guys in a moment if I can, but it's honestly still doing really well based on everything that's going on around it. Escalade is also equipped with a 36 speaker, that's right, 36 speaker audio system powered by AKG. You have speakers in your headrest, you have a huge speaker on the dashboard, and you just have speakers all around the Escalade, which is really, really nice. You've also got two speakers right here on the A-pillars of the Escalade. Sounds really nice. The volume level, like the actual, like how high the volume can go in this Escalade is, I think, like 40 or 50, which is really ridiculous. Like if you get it up to 20 volume, this Escalade it's very loud, but you know, I don't know, I guess some people want to listen to it at 40, go for it. Now, nearly $150,000 Canadian, this is a very expensive vehicle, and it's definitely not going to be for most people. Honestly speaking, it's probably going to be for some of the higher earners, or you know, people who actually have chauffeurs and drivers and stuff like that. And you know, for those people, I do see this being a perfect fit. However, you know, again, for the people who you know want that luxury, who want that full-size spaciousness, you get this Escalade. There's obviously other vehicles, other German brands that make, you know, very luxury cars as well, but I don't think you're going to get the space of an Escalade in any other car, really. Now, having said all that, I feel like if I was going to get the Escalade and if I had all the money to blow, I think I would get the Escalade V, because I'm already there with the Sport Platinum at about $150,000. What's another $40,000-$50,000 going to cost me? You know, I might as well just get it. So, you know, if it was down to me, if it was my choice, I would go all in on the Escalade or just not get it at all. And with that, my review on the 2023 Cadillac Escalade comes to an end. If you enjoy watching this video, be sure to smash the like button, of course. I'll see you guys next time, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel.